Let me tell you how excited I am to be here today. I've been wearing this cap and gown since May of last year. President Book, trustees, faculty, staff, parents, families, guardians, Phoenix Nation live streaming this, good morning to you all. And most importantly, class of 2020, I've been waiting a year and a half to say this to you. Congratulations, felicitaciones, gongxi, mazel tov. I am honored to be part of Commencement 2.0, and I'm thrilled Elon could give you your moment to shine. I've missed this wonderful campus, this wonderful community, and of course, this wonderful North Carolina humidity. I can't tell if I'm tearing up because I'm happy for Julia and all of you, or if because I'm sweating like an ox. Also, I'm pleased to report that I am fully vaccinated. Having written on medical dramas, I've been fortunate to work with some of the finest fictional doctors and real doctors, and I encourage everyone to please get their shot. So, before I begin, let me take you behind the scenes and tell you the true Hollywood story of this speech. When Dr. Book first called me in January 2020 with your gracious invitation to speak to you, I was so excited that I immediately started working on my remarks. I wrote a draft, gave it to a couple of writer friends for notes and suggestions, as I always do, and then Tom Hanks came down with a virus, and I was suddenly at home in the same sweatpants for a year and a half with my family yelling at me every 5 minutes, "What's the Netflix password again?" Cut to this past spring, I get the good news about this ceremony and that I'd have the privilege of speaking to you after all. I knew I'd have to write a different speech. Turned out I was wrong. I pulled out the draft of that original speech and was surprised to find it still applied, maybe even more so. When I first started working on this last year, I considered a number of themes, like the problem of labeling in America and how it divides us. Then I considered a more metaphoric theme, the exclamation point, how you should make your life an exclamation point, and cut down on the number of exclamation points in your texts and emails. Because 14 exclamation points after the text, "I'm excited," makes people like me sweaty. So I was searching for the right theme, and then I got a sign. Not a sign from God, but from someone who thinks they have more clout than God, the head of programming at the Fox television network. Now, I actually would have preferred God. I like to believe that God is caring, just, merciful. Plus, God doesn't give ridiculous script notes or cancel your show after 3 episodes. And so the sign came to me as a voice, not from a burning bush atop a holy mountain, but from the top floor of a glass office building in the holy land of Beverly Hills. And the voice spake unto me and said, "Sorry, dude, we're not picking up your pilot." I was devastated. Months earlier, I had sold the network an idea for a new drama series. It was original, topical. I poured my heart and soul into it, toiling over the script, the second draft, the third, the fourth. The network executives loved it. The studio I was partnered with even had me line up a director. It was all coming together. And then came the call. Not happening. Dead. Finito. So, class of 2020, +1, as you close one remarkable chapter of your lives and create the next one, I have wonderful news for you. You are going to get fired. Right on cue.
Just cold, Leonard.
Okay. Would you believe me if I told you I wrote in my script, "Freight train interrupts"? Oh, and it says here, "Wait for a freight train to pass." This is a sign that the American economy is rebounding, so it's all good.
They're all used to it.
Okay.
It's an Elon tradition.
We can take a quick picture.
Yeah.
That's right. This is actually very encouraging.
You guys look great.
Okay. Now I feel very connected to all of you, having shared what you've experienced. We good?
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to wind back up to this. So, class of 2020 plus one, as you close one remarkable chapter of your lives and create the next one, I still have wonderful news for you. You are going to get fired. You are going to get downsized when the division you're running profitably is sold to some conglomerate you've never heard of, and your office in Charlotte is moved to a city in Europe with no vowels in its name. You are going to lose the funding for your groundbreaking research project when your department gets cold feet and redirects the funds to the boring research project from your colleague down the hall who spends their days watching squirrel videos on YouTube. You are going to lose the new client you've been courting for over a year because your rival's cousin's dentist chiropractor knows LeBron James and got them into the locker room after the Lakers-Celtic game. You are going to stand on a hotel ballroom stage with a fake smile on your face when you lose your campaign for state senate by 0.5 percentage point. And all because your base was the youth vote and the election happened to be the same night as the finale of The Bachelor. And you are going to see your life plan unexpectedly scrambled and move back into your parents' home because of a new virus nobody ever heard of. Now, at this point, you're likely thinking, thanks, Leonard. I came back to North Carolina to hear this. Really inspiring. But it all points to a bigger and more profound question. How do you respond? How do you respond? Now, to answer that, I can offer you soaring rhetoric from Nelson Mandela, a poetic metaphor from Toni Morrison, a heartfelt reflection from Elie Wiesel. But I work in Hollywood. We don't do soaring rhetoric, poetic metaphors, or heartfelt reflections. We do car chases, shootouts, and bigger car chases. So I'm going to give you a movie. It's one of my all-time favorite movie moments from the classic 1976 film Rocky. Graduates, you'll know Rocky as the progenitor of the Creed movie starring Michael B. Jordan. Parents and grandparents, you're probably choking on your Altoids when I call Rocky a classic. Yeah, it's been around that long. Starring and written by Sylvester Stallone, Rocky tells the underdog story of Rocky Balboa, a good-hearted nobody boxer from the slums of Philadelphia who was given a shot to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. Despite all his training and hard work, including an iconic musical montage that ends with Rocky running up the steps of the Philadelphia Art Museum, Rocky knows he doesn't stand a chance against the great Apollo Creed. All Rocky wants is to go the distance, because nobody has ever lasted all 15 rounds with Creed. If I hear that bell ring and I'm still standing, he tells girlfriend Adrian, I'll know that I'm not just another bum from the neighborhood. Then comes the fight. It's a bloody slugfest. But to everyone's surprise, Rocky hangs in there and goes toe-to-toe with Creed, trading punch for punch. Then comes my favorite moment, the 14th round. Creed decks Rocky with a ferocious punch. Creed thrusts his arms in the air in celebration as the referee begins to count Rocky out. 1, 2, 3. Rocky's corner yells at him to stay down. Creed dances. 6, 7, 8. And then Rocky does something extraordinary. He picks himself up off the mat. Creed looks at Rocky. He can't believe it. And the fight continues. The look on Apollo Creed's face when Rocky stands back up is worth the price of admission, which was about $3.50 at that time, or $2.99 for you to stream on Amazon today. Members of the class of 2020, you are going to do great things in your professional lives, your personal lives, your communities. But along the way, you're gonna get clobbered. And then, like Rocky, you're going to have to pick yourself up off that mat. Now, this points to a question I've contemplated time and again. How does Rocky pick himself up off the mat? After the endless pounding, his strength sapped, how does he do it? That's the question I want you to ponder for the rest of my remarks, and no problem if you ponder it with eyes closed, because you may or may not have been up late celebrating with your friends last night. And this isn't just some arbitrary, highfalutin theme. To use a phrase common in my profession, you write what you know. You see, the intro Dr. Book gave wasn't quite complete, because Who Wants to Hear took a few years and a lot of rejection to get first break, then lost job when show was canceled because the executive producer embezzled $500,000. Or fired along with half the staff from second job because the show was struggling, leaving Leonard unemployed again, this time with a 3-month-old baby at home. You've heard the good credits, but most of my credits read like this: show canceled, fired, canceled, canceled, pilot not picked up, canceled, laid off in a budget cutback, canceled, pilot shot but not picked up to series, canceled, and so on. Class of 2020, you are going to endure long stretches where every day feels like the 14th round against Apollo Creed. And not just in your professional lives. Losing a family member, a heartbreaking end to a relationship, a trauma that shakes your community, an unexpected pandemic that brings life to a screeching halt. And then you're going to have to pick yourselves up off the mat. And it can be exhausting, particularly when you know more blows are coming. You're going to be tempted to listen to Rocky's corner and stay down. Which brings me back to the question I posed a few moments ago. How does Rocky pick himself up off the mat? More importantly, how do you pick yourself up off the mat? I've watched that scene dozens of times, but it took me this long and these insanely challenging 19 months to finally figure it out. You pick yourself up off the mat by picking yourself up off the mat. Class of 2020, I am bullish on all of you, because in your own individual ways, you've already been picking yourselves up off that mat. For many of you, the road has been hard. For others of you, the road has been extremely hard. And in the last year or so, all of you have battled your way down a road nobody even knew existed. But you're here. And here's something that should encourage and inspire you. You have a lot more people in your corner than Rocky did, starting with the people in maroon robes sitting beside you. The friends you made at Elon will be your friends for life. They will be there for you no matter where in the world you are or they are. I've seen it. My wife Lisa and I have been to several Elon events in Los Angeles, and the talk on our drive home is always about the amazing energy and sense of connection we see among Elon alums. The E-bomb is truly powerful. You also have the people on the stage and in the section next to you. Your learning from them didn't end last year. They mean it when they say you are welcome back here at any time. So pick up the phone, send an email or text with not too many exclamation points, or better yet, come back to the 27244 and they will happily talk to you, guide you, point you in the right direction. And you have your parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, guardians, some of whom who are here today, others who couldn't be here, who love you, who are proud of you, who've celebrated your achievements with you, who've held you when you've suffered setbacks, and who put up with you the last 19 months yelling, "What's the Netflix password again?" I guarantee you this, when you get decked like Rocky, not only will any of these people be yelling at you to get up, they will happily climb into that ring to help you grab that first rope. So let me end with a footnote, a spoiler alert. Rocky picks himself up off that mat in the 14th round, and he goes the distance with Apollo Creed. But he loses the fight. Creed wins on a split decision from the judges and retains the title. It doesn't matter, though, because Rocky is a champion. And it leads to 7 sequels, including ones with a very buff Michael B. Jordan. Elon class of 2020, +1. You have already entered the ring, and certainly not the way you expected. You've had the best training in the world from this very special university. You have an incredible corner cheering you on, and you've already been knocked down hard, but you've gotten back up. And while you will surely get knocked down many more times along the way, I have no doubt that you're all going to go the distance. Congratulations, you're all champions.